What's my fantastic squad? Your boy Santa Tech 100. Y'all see a title, man. This is by the speak. Hey, I mess with these guys. Hey, why aren't the 49ers the best team in the NFC after starting 3-0? Like, the reason why I mess with this, hey, Archo's usually a Niner guy. Shady's a biased Eagles fan. Like, he's funny. I like him. Like, you know he's gonna be biased to the Eagles, bro. Let's be honest. He's funny as hell. And Joy Taylor and James Jones, they be, hey, I don't know. Lately, they've been hating on the Niners, especially James Jones. But we're gonna check this out. Why aren't the 49ers the best team in the NFL? Let me guess. Cause Brock Purdy, really? That's really all y'all can say. Is Brock Purdy. But let's be real. That boy is nice.
On the Giants by 18 points, 30.
Who in the NFC are you really taking over Brock Purdy? Like, I'm not talking about if you're on like Brock Purdy on the Niners. Like, who else are you taking over them? Like, who? Like, of course, like Kirk Cousins and them are better than them, but he's on the Niners, which helps. Like, he's smart as hell. He's perfect quarterback in Kyle Shanahan's system. You gotta find the open guy and throw it to him. Like, he knows how to read defense way better than Jimmy G. And Jimmy G, they got to the Super Bowl. If he's better than Jimmy G, and they got to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G, bro, Brock Purdy gonna get over the hump, bro. I promise you, they gonna win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. I promise you that.
Oh, Brock Purdy,
I'll bet anybody on
had
that.
himself a game, 2 touchdowns, no picks, over 300
I'm not saying it will
yards.
be this year. I hope it's this year. I really believe it is this year, but hey,
Niners, 30
but Brock Purdy gonna win a ring in his career.
points for the 3rd straight game, on their way to another win. Now look, in our pre-show meeting, we have conversations before we talk to y'all, the country. Pre-show meeting, we were saying, well, are the Niners the best team in the league right now? And Shady said no, the Eagles. I said no,
Of
the
course, of course, he was gonna say the Eagles.
Cowboys. Joy said no, the Eagles. James said no, the Cowboys.
But I love it though. I don't want to be. I don't like. It was weird when people were putting us #1 in the power rankings, bro. It's a little weird. I like it, but I don't at the same time. I like when people have us like not like. How do I say it? I like when people are underestimated. They're not really underestimated because we're like 2nd, 3rd best team, but like being the best team is like a weird feeling.
My question then to you, Shady, is why aren't the Niners the best team in football? They're 3-0. They look really good. Yeah. What else do they still need to prove to you? Where do you stand on?
I think they're really, really good. I mean, when I watched them play last night, I like what I seen. You know, we talked about this earlier. Y'all didn't agree with me, but I gotta go with the Eagles just because when I go player for player, position for position, it's the Eagles, right? We show different ways to win games. Okay, Jalen Hurts might not be throwing for 300 yards.
Well, we've done that too, my boy. Like, I know it was last year and shit, but we got top 2 defense. We could shut people down. We could score like 13 points. We could run. We could pass. Like, bro, we showed that shit
like
too.
We've seen before. We know he's not throwing to AJ Brown on this side and Devontae Smith on this. It's not happening, but we find ways to win. If you want to take the pass game, cool. We'll run for 200 and some yards. 250?
Last game.
It's a lot of yards. Who's the running back? We don't know who it is. Okay, DeAndre Swift. Hello, I'm here. So when I look at this team, then you go to the defense. Any way you want to put it, we have these players. We have these positions. And I love to do matchups. Andy Reid has taught me that. When you play in these games, the matchups win. And we can find any matchup. If it's the running backs against the linebackers, if it's the wide receivers against the cornerbacks, if it's the tight ends against the linebackers, whatever it may be, or the safeties, whatever, you got to find a mismatch. And when I look at our team, when we play different teams, like the Cowboys, when we play the Niners.
And you didn't prove that point. Yeah, the mismatch on the Eagles is probably the linebackers, right? And who's the safeties now? But I'm taking Kittle over any of them. Like, Kittle gonna eat against the Eagles. That's gonna be a Kittle type game over the middle. Cause they got James Bradford, they got Darius Slay on the side. But it's gonna be a Kittle and CMC game.
We won't have the mismatch issues for our opposing teams, and I think that's why.
And now for the Cowboys without Trayvon,
the best team in football.
Hey.
Yeah, I have the Eagles also, but why I have the Niners below the Eagles but ahead of the Cowboys is when I look at predictions for this season and evaluating what a team looks like through the season, I don't just ignore their past habits and behaviors, particularly in the postseason. And when I look at the Niners and Kyle Shanahan, they always find themselves there. But they're always just a little bit short, and it almost always comes down to the quarterback.
Comes down to Jimmy G. And Brock Purdy is better than Jimmy, bro. Come on, bro. Hey, anybody with 2 eyes that watch both of them play knows Brock Purdy is better than Jimmy G. And, bro,
Not
And we were
being
literally
special
this
in the
close to
biggest
beating the
moment.
Chiefs.
So for me, I know that the Eagles have that because we just saw that. Well, the Eagles have Jalen Hurts. They have the same coach. They have a lot of the same pieces.
No, Kyle's not in the same. Hey, Nick Sirianni, Kyle. Hey, let's be real.
The Niners have the same coach, have the same quarterback, a lot of the same pieces. The Cowboys have the same quarterback, have the same coach, a lot of the same pieces. Now, all of them have added and subtracted, as we know we do on rosters, so it's not exactly the same team. But man, when you're looking at evaluating these teams, we got the core there to look at.
Yeah.
So for me, I just want to see a little more special from Brock Purdy during the regular season to this point.
So that Debo pass was special. That Ayuk pass week 1 was like special. Like, bro, that Ayuk pass, that Debo pass last game, backpedaling with people in face, back shoulder. Oh my god, that CMC pass where he dropped it. Oh my god.
It's not
Y'all
that he was
tripping.
bad last night. It's just
Y'all tripping.
Not special.
I just want to like not that pass. You know what I mean? Just not that one.
tripping.
Like I don't, and it just makes me nervous because when it does get into a tight spot, how is that going to look? We know he's the starter. We know
He
he's the
literally
franchise,
played
right?
when it gets tight. Literally had not like it was literally a tight game against the Cowboys, and he didn't turn the ball over. That's all you need with the defense like that. That's what I'm saying. Like Jimmy G would have threw a pick against the Cowboys last season in the playoffs, and we would have probably lost. Brock Purdy didn't do that. He protected the ball and made a big ass throw to George Kittle.
No. And I'm confident that he is and that he will continue to grow into that because, again, he hasn't even played a full season of NFL football.
Facts.
But if the difference is that...
And people are talking about the almost interception in the first quarter. Bro adjusted and played lights out after that.
That's the most important position. I'm going to go with the All-Pro MVP runner-up who just played in the Super Bowl, who's back again with his core pieces.
That did happen. Yeah, that did happen. For me, I'm all about being in the now. I don't really remember too many things. My wife always tell me you wouldn't even listen to me. I'm like, I'm focused on.
we have a whole filing cabinet. Which day was it?
I'm focused on right now. You
Hold
said that
on.
yesterday.
You just said on April 21st at 4:10 p.m.
Yeah, I don't remember none of that. So I'm like, oh, you said that yesterday? I don't even remember. So I don't remember nothing that happened last year. I'm going on my own 2 eyes this year. The Cowboys have really had one play to where they like, and that's when Sauce almost picked that ball up. The Eagles has had multiple. The Niners have had multiple. So when you just talk about how they're playing right now, the Cowboys are playing at a dominant level, and it ain't even close to anybody in the national.
That dominant level gonna fall off now without Trayvon, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that defense was looking scary. But Trayvon's a huge loss. But you got 2 lockdown corners with Micah and the boys just going crazy. I'm sorry, bro. They're going to target that second corner. You're going to have to have help. The middle of the field going to be more open because you're going to bring the safeties over, linebackers over. But I'm telling you, that Trayvon Diggs loss is going to be huge.
Football league.
Especially with a turnover. Bro's a ball hawk.
These first 2 games that they have played. And that is why I'm saying they are the best team in football. And for me, as you guys know, I believe Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. And the Niners, they're not going to keep getting away with this. And I'm going to show a couple plays of Brock Purdy, but I just want to bring the viewers in because y'all mentioned last week he missed a couple throws. This right here is where you going with the ball. This is a pick if George Kittle don't turn into.
I know exactly what play. Bro, y'all bringing up the same fucking play. When it should have been picks become a stat. I promise y'all can bring up Patrick Mahomes and he has a couple plays where it should have been a pick. I promise y'all could bring up Josh Allen who could damn sure. I can bring up Joe Burrow damn sure. Like bro, when did almost that picks become? And those 2 plays that they about to show, because I know there was only 2 plays. I'm a Niner fan, I watched the whole game. There's only 2 plays where he should have been picked. Was that first throw to Kittle over there and a Debo one back corner, bro. That was a first drive. He adjusted and balled out first, like the next 3 quarters. Second half, he was 11 for 14. No one want to bring that shit up, bro. I'm a Niner fan. Hey, I'll come with the stats. So I wish I was on these platforms because I'm a Niner fan. I would come with the facts. Like people talking about he didn't throw the ball deep. I'm pretty sure that Debo pass was deep. I'm pretty sure they brought the blitz on 87% of the time, so he had to get the ball out quick to his playmakers. So come on, man. Let's be real. Come on.
This is a pick.
Come on, man.
But it's showing up too much. I understand.
Too much? If it showed up too much, he had literally 0 picks in the last like 7 games, bro. If it's showing up too much, he can't just keep, like you said, he's not gonna keep getting away with it. If it's showing up too much, eventually people are gonna pick it off. if it's showing up too much, that shit should have been happened already. Like, talking about it happens too often. I'm pretty sure not every single pass is gonna get batted down by George Kittle type shit. Like, that shit does not happen often. This boy is dumb as hell.
Like, where are you going with this? Is
Talking about it happens
and
too
the only
often.
reason why I'm showing these plays, Shady, because if that's Gilmore, that might be to the crib.
They didn't even play. We didn't play Gilmore, but then he played the Cowboys.
If that's Slay, that might be to the crib. If that's the good football teams, the football teams that's ready to compete for championships, the Eagles, the Cowboys, those are picks, and you better believe the pressure like he just faced right there. The Eagles is coming.
No, nah, they're not coming with. They're not bringing blitz. They might come with 4, like, but he's gonna have more time than that. Like, they was bringing blitz every single play.
The Cowboys is bringing that pressure. So for me, it's too many inconsistent plays for Brock Purdy right now. Is he getting away with them because they're winning and the other team is not capitalizing on them? Yes. But when you're talking about how the play of football looks on the field right now, it's not close between the Cowboys and the 49ers. I hear you. I hear you. And those are good plays. Those are good plays. I get that. But I could also show plays that he looked good.
Talk to him, bro. This boy want to talk about all the bad plays, bro. Like, show the good plays. Show the Debo. Show the Christian. You want to do what if? Show Christian McCaffrey that he got batted down. That's a dime.
Where last game, not the one last night, the last game before that, where he missed Brandon Ayuk on a double move, right? He missed it, overthrew it. Oh, let's run it back. Last night, same thing with Debo Sanders. He caught it on a dot on the outside shoulder.
Exactly.
Like, another thing about Brock Purdy is he's only 10 games in.
Talk to him.
He's the last pick in the draft. He's 10 games in. He looks solid. Get to the end of the season, I'm sure he'll look better. And you talk about, because we can't talk about Jalen Hurts with the quarterback thing. He's on the other side. He's different.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to Jalen Hurts, the best quarterback in the NFC. I'll give it to you.
As much passes you want to show of Brock looking bad
This year, no.
I mean, well,
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember last year.
but when the game last year,
I'm saying,
no play. Okay,
I don't remember last year.
When the game,
my eyes this year.
when the game is tight, right? Then you'll see who it really is, because the Cowboys are not gonna beat everybody like that, right?
Yeah.
We played football for a long time. I played football at a high level. And it don't always go like that.
It don't always
And then
go
there's
like
some
that.
games where you're gonna have a first quarter where it looks bad. You been a part of that?
He literally had a first. Niners had a first quarter.
He played Aaron Rodgers, right?
question.
Have you been part of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, there's gonna be times where it's not gonna look good, and you might struggle for the first quarter. 3 and outs. Okay, but whenever it clicks, it's gonna look how Brock Purdy looked when he got it clicking, and that's
Fact.
football.
Fact.
America,
Talk
that's
to
football.
him.
Everything gonna be 40-0. That's not realistic. So we'll see when it gets tight, and we see what Dak Prescott looks like when it gets tight. Yeah.
My question is, as I chime in here, is the only reason I don't have the Niners is the one right now is because I'm thinking at the point in which I feel about the Niners, how Shady feels about the Cowboys. No, they're elite. But I'm like, man, what happens when? Like Shady, I've heard him all week about the Cowboys, but what happens when they face an opponent that will light up the scoreboard? Now, my retort to Shady has always been, I don't know if they'll face that opponent because of the defense. But where I am with Brock Purdy is, man, what happens when you need it? Now, I only think there's 2 or 3 teams in the National Football League that will put Brock Purdy and the Niners in that position. Cowboys, Eagles, maybe the Chiefs, and maybe the Dolphins as it stands right now. But what happens when you do need that 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, and you got to hit Emmanuel Sanders deep with the Super Bowl on the line? Like, what happens when? As it stands right now, Brock Purdy balling. I mean, he's absolutely balling. I'm just curious about what happens when. That's why Cowboys are the one to me, James, with you. And then I have...
So that's your reason? If that's your reason, Jalen Hurts, the Eagles should be number 1. We've seen Dak Prescott do that. Bro, Dak Prescott lost to the Niners twice, back-to-back years. He pretty much cost them the game last year because they lost because of turnover last year. The both defense was balling out. Brock Purdy just didn't turn the ball over. Dak Prescott did, and they lost the game, bro. Like, why? If that's your argument to say, then Jalen Hurts, then the Eagles should be number 1 on your list. It shouldn't be the Cowboys. What the hell?
The Niners, and then I have the Eagles.
Now, why do you have the Niners over the Eagles?
I'm looking at how it looks right now. Like, that's just how
But
I
it's
look
only
at it.
week 2, bro. Week 3 now for the Niners, but it's only been 2 weeks.
Obviously, I know what Jalen Hurts has done.
No question.
I know what the Eagles defense has done. I know what the Eagles offense has done. But what the Eagles defense has done and how they look this year, even as far as pass rush, not the same.
Exactly.
What the Eagles offense has done and what it looks like this year, even against common opponents, Vikings. Last year, Vikings, they saw week 2. This year, Vikings, they saw week 2. Not the same. So, but that's just how I look at ball. I look at ball like right now. I don't necessarily look at ball all that. Other people
If
look
we're
at it
talking about what they're going, I just can't divorce. First of all, I can't just forget what I've seen. Like I need to remember. I need to have the trauma in my bones so I can make better decisions moving forward. That's just how I am particularly wired. So I can't just forget what I've seen these players do, particularly in the postseason, and these teams do, particularly in the postseason. How they're coached, how they perform, what they do in big moments. Players can get better, of course. So you always have room for growth, and you can make adjustments. But I am talking about. We're talking about right now. Yes, the Cowboys have looked the most dominant in the league. That's not a question. They've looked the most dominant, of course, and probably the Niners have looked the second most dominant. I mean, they still won by 18. Like, it's the NFL.
On a Thursday night football, bro.
They won by 18 points last night. That's an NFL team. There's NFL players on the other side of the ball. So it's the coach of the year on the other side of the ball. Like, we don't think they're a great team. All of them get paid professional money to play football. So 18 points is still a wide margin to beat somebody. I don't care what the situation is in the NFL. So they're probably the second most dominant, and then we can go on from there. Maybe it's the Dolphins, maybe it's the Eagles, whatever your flavor. I'm just saying, when I think about what these teams are and what they're going to be at the end of the season, if they stay what they look like on paper, that's kind of how I am. That's where I'm speaking.
Can I say one thing? Because you guys are saying that you don't care what happened in the past. The past doesn't matter for some reason. I don't know. But does experience ever matter? Does that take place? Because I don't know. I play football and I'm wondering, does experience matter?
Yeah, experience matters.
You get experience from the past, right?
Yes.
So the past should matter something. Because when you put the Eagles in a situation like last year, when you may be losing, you need to win. You might need a sack, you might need to play from Jalen Hurts. Guys, relax. We've been here before. Or if you haven't, you know how to react in the moment when the lights are real bright. That's when I talk about experience. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying about the past. I'm just saying the past matters because if you've been there before, when you go there now, relax. We've been here before. Let's go.
That's a good point. Let me ask you this, though. Let's get to the nitty gritty. I love this nuanced conversation. Outside of Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Lane Johnson, and an additional offensive line.
Did we get Kelsey?
Kelsey, that's what I'm thinking of. Those were the Eagles players that were on that Super Bowl team.
A.J. Brown,
they weren't on the Super Bowl team, right?
Oh,
Super Bowl team.
Okay.
Eagles 2017 Super Bowl. The Niners went to the Super Bowl with Debo, with Kittle, with Trent, with Warner, with the litany of those same players.
Okay.
So there's incomplete data for me as far as the Niners' lack of experience. I don't think the Eagles have a significant experience gap. Hurts, Purdy, duh. But I don't think the Eagles as a roster and the Niners as a roster have a significant experiential gap. Where do you stand?
Well, you good, boy. That's why they pay you. That's why they pay you. Because you said win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Niners didn't win the Super Bowl.
That's hard to do. That's hard to do.
There were more players that are on the team now from last year where the Eagles played in the Super Bowl than there are in the Niners.
Yeah, there were. But I'm saying, I mentioned like the stars, like the impact players. Like, that's why I said Kittle, I said Debo, I said...
Yeah, but the Eagles were in the Super Bowl in February.
Couple months
But they lost, though. They didn't win it, though.
Neither did the Niners.
Yeah,
I know.
So how are they not in the same? How are they not the same?
No, I'm saying they are.
He said that Eagles have more, you dummy.
Experientially, I don't see a huge experiential gap between the Niners and the Eagles
from one team,
outside of the quarterback.
From one team that wins.
Yeah.
Like once, like I know what it feels like to be here. Like
we're
here compared to team. I know. Damn, what's that feel like? Hey, Shady.
I'm talking about.
Hey, Shady, how's that feel to be? I can tell him. If I have one, you call me up. I got you, bro.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Remember, the Niners went to the Super Bowl in 19. Yeah. Maybe that's the information I omitted. The Niners went to the Super Bowl in 19. Okay. Warner was in the Super Bowl. Trent was in the Super Bowl. Yes. Debo was in the Super Bowl.
Trent wasn't. Joe Staley was. Trent wasn't.
Kittle was in the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the 19.
Yeah, but Purdy wasn't.
Yes, that's
why. Wasn't.
Yes, that's
and
why I
Zach
said
wasn't
that.
in the NFC Championship game.
Correct. That's why I said Purdy and Hurts.
When you talk about years, I was playing I was in Super Bowl 2019 compared to a couple months ago. It's two different things, right? Like even when I went to the camp when they were going against the Colts, the scrimmage, and they kept talking about how we got to get back to the Super Bowl. Everything was like, oh wow. They had a journey they didn't complete. They got so close. It's like playing a video game. You beat everybody up, get to that last board, the main guy, and you lose. We've been there, so we know how to get back there. And everything they talked about from the meetings and from the practices is like, yo, we got to get back to that point. We know where we messed up at. Now we gotta go fix it. Where other teams, like you talking about the Niners, like they don't know what that feels like. The Cowboys, they don't know what that feel like. Cowboys, Emmitt Smith, may know. Troy Aikman may know what it feel like. Prime time, ain't no.
I just zoned out. What the hell did you say?
Look at his face.
I'm just saying, experience can be overrated. And the reason why I say that is experience can be overrated. And the reason why we won the Super Bowl, and the only person on our team that's been to a Super Bowl was Charles Woodson. And we beat the Steelers, who Ben's been there. James Harrison's been there. Palomalu's been there. A bunch of Ryan Clark has been. It was a bunch of dudes on their roster that have been in the Super Bowl, and we come in there as young pups like it's over for y'all. Yeah. So for me, sometimes experience is a little bit overrated to me, because if it came down to experience, the Niners would be in the last 3-4 Super Bowls.
James, the only
Keep in mind, Charles Woodson got hurt.
The only
No doubt he broke his collarbone in that game.
thing I can't ignore.
The easy one. Go ahead and say it.
You had that dude.
I understand we had that.
That's a bad man.
I understand, but I'm just saying that was Aaron's first real playoff run too. That was Aaron's first Super Bowl too, and I know he was a bad man. I argue with anybody about that all day, but what I'm saying is experience could sometimes be overrated, because like I say, the Niners have been in a couple NFC championships and they have not found a way to get it done.
Here's what's interesting though, real quick.
Hey,
that is a bad man, but
bitch.
that wasn't.
We're gonna get it done.
He was bad enough to make it 3 years behind Brett Favre.
Hold up. So they played us first at home in Philadelphia. They beat us, right?
Yep.
That whole week we were saying, "Oh my God, this quarterback is this, he's that."
He that.
I didn't even know. I knew of him, but you know, you never really watched all the other team's offense.
Yep.
They were saying how great this quarterback was.
But I'm saying that was pre. He'd only played one playoff game at the time.
Exactly. But that
You see what I'm saying?
Hall of Fame talent is Hall of Fame talent.
No doubt.
Patrick Mahomes before he played, but still Patrick Mahomes.
But I'm saying you have to earn that.
Like, so let's earn these numbers. Look at his playoff numbers. Look at the playoff numbers. You tell me if that's Hall of Fame bound.
We said him yesterday. 3 touchdowns, no picks, week 1 against the Eagles.
300 yards.
Yep, 3 touchdowns,
Should've
no
had
picks.
4,
No,
because we
3
talked about
touchdowns,
that.
no picks,
What are we
week 2.
talking
Aaron
about?
Rodgers again.
Aaron
No
Rodgers?
touchdowns, I think 2 picks week 3, game 3, but y'all
Bears.
still won against the
Ice
Bears.
cold out there, boy.
And then in the Super Bowl, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Went cool.
9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
There's some guys that's experienced that don't do that. The difference is you got a Hall of Fame quarterback. This is why quarterbacks get paid so much money. If your team, if you have a sorry team, but you have a Hall of Fame type quarterback, that makes the difference.
I guess what I'm saying is, at the time, we didn't know who Aaron Rodgers was.
question.
Now, I'm not putting Brock Purdy in the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
because y'all might scoff at me. Now, in 20 years from now, y'all may be like, Acho, you should have put him there. I'm not putting Purdy there. I'm just saying Brock Purdy currently has more playoff wins going into this season than Aaron Rodgers had going into your Super Bowl.
And I hear you. I hear you. We talking about a lot of like philosophical things in this conversation. It's fun. So it's like experience and like reality,
Talent.
dominant and stuff. But like again, like I can't forget that it was Aaron Rodgers. Like we didn't know then that 100% that it was Aaron Rodgers, but like somebody knew because they made him sit 3 years and like you know what I mean. They drafted him, replaced Brett Favre, who's a Hall of Famer, and he's like really good.
But what I'm saying is Brock Purdy is not on Aaron Rodgers' level, and we got so much belief in the Niners. So that's my thing. Like what's the belief in the Niners? Brock Purdy's not Aaron Rodgers.
He's not Aaron Rodgers.
Bro, do you not watch these games, bro? What do you mean? What are the beliefs in the night, bro? They won 10 straight. Bro has turned the ball over twice in those 10, 12 games, or how many games he played. He had like 22 touchdowns, 2 picks. What games are you watching, my boy? Are you like not watching games or what? He's 22 touchdowns, 2 picks. Talking about drop picks. There's also drop touchdowns in that shit too. So let's be real, bro. Talking about bro. Y'all pissed me off so much, bro.
He's good enough for that team, for that system. And you talked about the experience with Aaron Rodgers. Like, for example, there's players that you watch on tape that maybe not have the accolades yet, but you like, yo, you know when I first played Derwin James, I don't even watch college stuff like that, especially back then. I do now because of my work, but I didn't watch it. I'm like, boy, who's this dude? I didn't know his name. His number was like whatever. Who's he? You knew it when you watched. You talked about Aaron Rodgers not having much playoff experience. Cool, you said that. When the defense put him on tape, they like, bro, who this 12? Who is this guy? Because you already know that. But the thing with Brock Purdy is that when you watch their team, and this dude is 10 games in?
Yeah.
You know he's gonna get way better when it gets to the playoff time. Because they're winning games now. And granted, he showed some plays that he didn't look great at, but I see some plays he looked really good last night. So I just think that Brock Purdy in that system, he's doing really well. That's a good team. They run the ball, they got a lot of talent. I just don't think they're better than the Eagles. That's all. But I like the Niners. The Niners are really good. He's the second best quarterback in the NFC.
This is one of the most fascinating conversations we've had.
Who won? Wait, who won though?
I won.
We were on the same team?
Yes.
This is the second time we did that. Joey Taylor show.
Subscribe here to get the latest.
I don't know if you enjoyed that, subscribe on that road to 1K. Let me know if y'all enjoy this type of content, but I'm out, bro. 24 minutes is crazy.